What is a good sleep for you?
Oh, I usually go to bed around 9:30, 10,
Okay.
and then get up at 5:30 to 6.
Oh, okay.
That's
So
my
so it's
usual.
about 8 hours, 7 to 8 hours.
7 or 8 hours. Yeah, 7. Yeah, yeah, something like that.
Okay, well that's pretty good. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
So sometimes if you don't, but do you also monitor the quality of sleep also?
Yes, I do, but not very closely because I'm very fortunate, and that is I've never in my life, except for very short periods, of course, had any difficulty with my sleep. And as people get older, get to my age, a lot of my friends are telling me that they have trouble sleeping
Hmm.
as they get older, even though they never had problems before. But once they get, like me, close to 80, they start having problems sleeping.
Yeah,
Uh,
but
and
you
and
don't have it.
I have a feeling, I have a theory about why that is.
Hmm.
And that is older people, as people approach 80 and beyond, um, have a lot of stress,
Oh,
a lot of tensions and stresses. Uh,
oh,
Partly from not being involved with the world anymore, uh,
oh. Huh.
because they're they identify with the work that they did, or things are different now that they're retired, and
Hmm.
and their body is giving out on them, and they're not taking care of their body. They're not doing as much exercise as they used to. That's fairly common. Uh,
Hmm.
and I think that's at root of people's sleeping problems with age.
Hmm.
That's
Very
my
interesting.
theory.
This is I would imagine that is antithesis of what normally or counterintuitive. I mean, you would think that people will not be stressed out because they're relaxed. They don't have
Yeah.
really much problems,
Yes.
and then they will be more contented. And then you were saying the second thing is that they are not involved much, which you would imagine that if you when you are involved with things, it will do lot so much more stress.
Right. But that's not the case.
That's very interesting.
Yeah. Do you remember the elder meditation project that I
Yeah.
ran?
I
Uh,
do.
that was exactly what it was for. It turns out that there's a tremendous problem in long-term care for the elderly, and
Hmm.
that is people are nervous, they're stressed, they're tense. Why? They get their food every day. They can do whatever they want. They're free. They can walk. They can go and walk on the grounds. They can, and they have no responsibilities. Bad. That's bad. And that's the part that people don't see. That it's neither good nor bad actually. But the part that people don't see is we expect, as you say, it's counterintuitive that we expect that, oh, you got nothing to do, you can sit there and read all day, or uh, but no, that's not what people want to do. And it creates tension and stress. They don't feel plugged in anymore. Their relationships, they worry about their relationships. They're not having socialization the way they used to before. They don't have status within a human world. All of those things and more contribute to tremendous stress. Anyway, so
Let me
that's,
ask you.
yeah,
Let me ask you a question, and then I will give my opinion. So you
yeah.
think this is different for elderly people? Not. I mean, I understand their situation; they are retired, for example. But is when they if they were doing similar things when they were younger, would they also have
Yes.
problem?
Right. Yes. What I would say is they would have problems when they were younger, when they had a period of time when they had to be out of work
Mm,
because of illness or because of taking a vacation. Yeah, people are stressed on their vacations.
Yeah.
You know, if they have to leave work for a period of time because they lose their job, or there's a change in the organization and then they have to move to a different location and they're not used to it, and they have a couple months they don't do anything. So yeah, so that also plays in. Uh, but I think the question you might be asking is, are there different personalities? Or
Yeah.
do some people?
Well, I mean, the what you are saying is, but when you lose the job or some, you are anxious. You are anxious. It's a different kind of problems there. Here is different kind of problems. What I guess maybe I should ask the other way around. I should ask the question that if people who are younger and are very involved, are they satisfied? Or
Yeah,
do they have, are they more satisfied because they are so much involved in so many things that they are doing, or they stressed out because they are involved so many things that they're
oh,
involved?
right. That's a good question, and I think that comes down to the individual.
Yeah. But
And that's
in general, what do you think? I mean, just like you're saying, in general, what happens to elderly people?
yes,
What
yes,
happens to people who are younger at younger age when they have so many things to do? Are they less stressed out
yeah,
than the elderly people who don't have much to do?
right. Uh, yeah. Okay. Well, I go along with. I'm in agreement here with the stress management community, of which
Mhm.
I'm a part. I have been a part for a good part of my life, my working life. So I'm in agreement, and that is that the stress is not out there. The
It's
stress
in
is in
here.
here.
Yeah.
So that means that one person, two people, they have the same job, they work together, they're both happy, or one is very happy with it, and the other is stressed by it.
Hmm.
But it's the same circumstance. So, and I don't know from a psychological point of view, I don't think we have any way of predicting uh, which one will be happy with a job, regardless of how much stress, activity, and which one will crumble or crush, when responsibilities build up.
So,
So I
as
don't
you
think
know,
we have.
the
Yeah.
research is normally done based on, like, just take a sample and see how many people, rather than, obviously everybody is different. So, since
Yes.
you were saying that people when they are approaching 80s, they have sleeping problem. So that's a kind of a general, although there should be individual variations, I guess.
Yeah.
And but what would be having people who are in their 30s and 40s, and they have a lot of work to do. They're very much involved. They're in the midst of the society and social interactions. Do they have more stress or less stress in general? Just like, individuals will have different, but it's like a pool.
Yeah. 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 I,
Do they get better sleep? They get better sleep.
yeah. I think it's so individual that
No,
that
I know it's individual, but I'm saying what is the general population?
yeah.
What would be in your guess? Like you're saying that by elderly people, there is expectation, certain amount of good sleep. You get good sleep, but then not most people don't. But the most people who are working, you think they have less stress?
It's a stressor. So work is a stressor,
Yeah.
uh, regardless of whether the things that are happening at work are good or bad, uh, regardless of whether the work, that you work 12, 13 hours a day, or you work just 6 or 7 hours a day. Work is a stressor, and
Yeah.
and so that's the fact. How people respond to it, uh, in American society, uh, we're the most stressed out society on the planet. And
Yeah.
I suppose you know that. I mean,
Yes.
there have been numerous surveys, and there's no question that USA is number one when it comes to stress. Yeah, so there's something about our society, uh, something about our way of life that encourages people to not do well when they are put into stressful situations. That they tend to respond by by developing stress symptomology when they are put into stress situations. In other places on the planet, people put into stressful situations do not experience the kind of stress that we do in America.
And the reason is,
I don't know the reason.
social.
I think it has something to do with the way we live our life in America. Our culture. Uh,
Culture.
it, yeah, yeah. And,
Yeah, yeah. I
and,
was going to say that. So
yeah,
one of the one of the thing that at least I see, coming from another culture, obviously I know that very well. And elderly people are highly respected, at least traditionally, they are highly respected.
good point.
And so they still have, I mean, they don't live generally, they don't live in a elderly home or,
Yep.
separate from the family. They live with the family.
Yes.
And so you still have, uh,
Bye bye. Yeah. Go
they
ahead.
still
Yeah.
have a role to play
Yes.
because people consult them, they listen to their advice, they take care of them, and they're
Yeah.
part of the, whatever is going on, rather than, being sitting separately somewhere
Yeah.
and, saying that, they get to have people of their kind, of the
Yeah.
same age group and this and that. I'm not very sure that is natural. The natural nature does not live like, all the plants of one kind live one place. I mean, there are like, you go to the forest, you see all kind of herbs, there are all kind of trees, small, big, this and that, and that's how the nature is. So I guess I'm assuming the nature has a value of everybody together. I i don't know that I
Yeah.
shared with you or not, but I decided to cut some shrubs around my lawn. There was
I
a
didn't say that. Yeah.
there
Tell
was
me.
a tree which
Yeah.
you every year. I mean, the tree itself was not that problem, but there will be a lot of other vines and this and that. So I when
Oh,
I cut the lawn, it like and they're
right.
like they have thorns in them. They kind of get hold of my shirt and this and that. So
Yeah.
one day I decided to get rid of it,
Yeah. Yeah.
and
Yeah.
so I thought it will be so simple, but it took me 2 days to
Yeah.
do that. You know what happened? I started clearing up.
Yeah.
They were these all these vines, they're dead.
Yeah.
Once
Yes.
the little thing
Yeah.
I got rid of. Actually, I started doing it before the spring came, so there was not that much of leaves.
Mm.
So, but I saw these vines which are dead, but they're so intertwined. It's like it took me almost half a day to get to the tree.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So they're so cooperative. I said, they are so cooperative with each other. They help each other even after they're dead.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I really, I mean, I have a lot of pictures I took.
Yeah.
It's amazing, in what kind of things, and so you try to do cut here, but then it's like something is there, and there's
Yeah.
like, and there are all kind of things. So
Yeah.
I feel that there is a value in having everything integrated in some way
Oh yeah.
and in a
Yeah.
cooperative way,
Yeah.
rather than saying that no, I want to be because
Yeah.
I belong to this. I mean, maybe for certain period of time when you have to do certain things, yes,
Yeah.
but to live a life like that,
Mm-hmm.
it will be tough. And I think that may be related to the culture that you were talking about. I'm just trying to analyze this culture as much as possible by
Yeah.
uh, having a scientific approach and some evidence factual stuff. So
Mm-hmm.
I find that because one of my major concerns, and and attention these days is that it's trying to create the uniformity. It's like has been somehow believed in science also that things are uniform, and
Mhm.
that makes life easier. Well,
Yeah,
it does make life easier for me if I consider everything to be exactly same, because
yeah,
then I can make whatever rules I make, they will be followed by everybody
yeah,
or everything. I mean, when I say everything means every molecule. I have my problem is I work with proteins, so all these proteins will should have a botulinum neurotoxin is a protein,
yeah.
but all these molecules don't follow. This is a statistical question. They don't follow exactly same. There is a Gaussian distribution of these molecules, which is most
Mm.
active, which is not that much active, maybe super active, and we take an average of it. It will be so nice for my principles and experiments to work if they were exactly same.
Mhm.
Unfortunately, they are not the same. So I think the Western society, maybe American more so, they assume that everything has to be uniform because it fits.
Mhm.
Elderly people one place, so they know how much food to give them, how much shelter to give them, whatever. It makes it
Yeah,
easy for others.
yeah,
I don't think it makes it easy for them.
yeah,
So when we want this uniformity versus unity,
yeah,
the
yeah,
unity is only when there is a diversity.
yeah. Yes.
Uniformity
Yeah,
takes care of the diversity, that gets rid of it.
yeah,
And
yeah.
that is a fundamental problem that we are dealing with today, in my
Mm.
opinion, in science as well as in the society.
Ah,
Because
interesting. Yeah,
it
yeah,
is, it is somebody else is trying to make it easy for them.
yeah,
And they have convinced that, it's, because, you are the same age group, you are in the same thing, same situation, so somehow you're going to enjoy it more. It doesn't make any sense. And what you're telling me, and this is where I wanted to go with, initially when I was asking these questions, and
yeah.
it was nice of you that you kind of brought this yourself, saying that it is in America, not necessarily somewhere else, and
Right.
something that I come from, and I still see value of that, at least in the rural areas, that nobody abandons their parents for
Yeah,
anything. They will
yeah.
take care of them,
Right.
and not only just take care of them. It's not taking care of. It's like, I think maybe you were right. Maybe causes more stress. Even if somebody just takes care of me, and if
Yeah,
I feel I'm a burden to this person, I
yeah,
probably will feel stressed out also. But if
yeah.
I'm a valuable member of the family or
Mm.
the society,
Mhm.
then I would,
Yeah.
it goes back to what you said. These
Right.
people are not involved at all in anything. They don't feel that they are worth much, because they're not. So it comes to that conclusion. But how do we go about it?
Yeah,
Just making them play carom board is not going to make them very involved. But
yeah,
if they were involved, they were involved in their own neighbor's family. If
mm,
even if they don't have their own family or their
mm,
grandchildren or
yeah,
great grandchildren, and they really valued them, not just came and say hi grandpa, not like that. Not so mercy on me, but
yeah,
really see if I am worth something. I think they are all.
yeah,
I mean, as I am aging, also I find that there is so much thing that I can reflect back on, which I didn't have time to.
mm.
I still don't have time to
That's right.
put
Yeah,
a lot of things. But
yeah,
whatever I can, I find it to be amazingly innovative, creative, original. Oh,
yeah,
at least it makes sense to me. So I
yeah.
think that
Right.
is perhaps part of the region. I think it can be very helpful.
Yeah. Oh, I think you're pointing to something extremely important that American society for many years now has lost from the various cultures that have come here, many of which, like your culture, still have it, still are able to maintain in your own household, and all of the Indian American friends that I have, have maintained some of their traditions that along the valuing of the various generations within the family, and valuing and keep them aware. But that's not always true. Many people in America I mean, the rise of the long-term care centers, the nursing homes, in America speaks to the fact that we've lost this. And
Yeah.
these are people in the nursing homes who have cultural backgrounds. They came from locations where elders were honored.
Yeah.
Their grandparents and great grandparents and great great grandparents, carried on the tradition. But now, the 21st century in America, much of this is being lost. A substantial percentage of people are losing that valuable piece of culture, of wisdom, of ancient wisdom. That is troubling. It's very troubling when you really think about it. But yes, you point out something extremely important. I agree so much, and I think that's a really important point that you raise about that.
Thank you. Thank you very much.